Hi, today we're going to talk about something that every musician needs to know, and that is how to craft an unforgettable song introduction. Because let's face it, if you don't catch the listener's attention from the get-go, they're gonna tune out faster than you can say power chord. So today I got 5 killer tips that successful artists use to grab their listener's attention from the very first note. We're talking about everything from catchy hooks to unique sounds, and I'm gonna break down the key elements that makes up a good song introduction. And the best part, I'm gonna show you exactly how to incorporate these tips into your own music, so that you can set the stage for a memorable song. Okay, so make sure you watch the whole video so you don't miss out on any of the tips in here. My name is Mattias, sit back, grab your guitar or piano, and let's create a great introduction. Number 1, start with a hook. Begin your song with a catchy, memorable melody that grabs the attention of your listeners and draws them in. Okay, so here we have a verse and we have a chorus drop. So let's take a listen so we get a feel for what the core melody is like. Right, so let's make use of that core melody, our hook here, and take a small portion from that, which is often called a motif, and play that in the beginning as an intro. Okay, so the hook or the main melody in this track sounds like this. So for the intro, after extracting some of the notes, the rhythm, and changing a little bit of the notes here, it sounds like this. Gorgeous. Number 2, create a mood. Use the introduction to establish a mood and atmosphere of the song, whether it's upbeat and energetic or melancholic and introspective. The track I have here is quite positive and uplifting, and I want to emphasize that and give a sense of the tone in the intro. And if we look at the chords, it's basically a 4-6-5 kind of thing, because the track is in A major. But we're playing the 4-6-5, the 4 chord is D, the 6 chord is F sharp minor, and the 5 chord is E major. But maybe we can try the 5 chord in the intro. The E, but let's make it more interesting, so let's make it a sus4 chord. So we add the A, which goes down to the A flat. So it turns into a major chord. And instead of the E in the bass, let's use the A, which gives us a little bit of anticipation. It sounds like we're waiting for something. So the background chords will be the 5 chord, but with the A in the bass, which is the root note. And we're using the sign player from Orchestral Tools with a patch from the Time macro library called Decelerate Time. And the intro pad with our melody sounds like this. So now we definitely have some anticipation and a mood going. Okay, tip number 3. Use different instruments, layering and sounds to create a unique and memorable introduction that sets your song apart. So when talking about sounds and layering and instrumentation, we can see that in my arrangement here we first have the introduction piano, which is like a muted kind of piano. I have a bandpass filter here to filter out the high end and the low end, so we get a very narrow and muffled sound. The piano is further layered with a patch called Kristalla from my Vital preset pack called Omega. And together they sound like this. So it gives another flavor to the piano, a quite dreamy and exciting sound. We layer that with a patch called Busimba, also from my Omega pack from the Vital synth. And together they sound like this. So adding and stacking layers like this definitely adds to the continuous excitement in the introduction. So I highly recommend it to experiment with the layering and sounds like this to add excitement continuously during the progression of the track. Tip number 4, build tension. Use pacing and tone to create a sense of excitement and anticipation, gradually building the main melody towards the chorus. Right, so let's talk about how I build tension in the example project. So we talked about stacking up and layering instruments successively through the progression of the track. So that's one way we build the excitement, and we also have a little bit of trills coming in and out on the intro pad. Let's solo the pad and take a listen. So that's a little bit of ear candy and excitement in the background. And as mentioned, we layer more and more instruments towards the verse. And we also have a little hit here, a drum hit with a tom and a kind of cymbal, with a bunch of reverb and a little bit of filtering to make it less harsh in the top end, because I wanted to have the top end from that trill guitar we hear in the background of the intro pad. And the final spice to create the tension is created with this riser effect, which leads into the verse. Which is like accelerating. And I do recommend adding these kinds of transition and riser effects, because they really add excitement to a boring introduction. So let's take a listen to the whole intro with all the effects and all the layering. And finally, tip number 5, keep it concise. Remember that the introduction is merely the beginning of your song. Make it concise enough to keep your listeners interested without overstaying its welcome. And for God's sake, don't make the same mistake that Metallica did on their latest album, where there's like the same riff going on for 1.5 minutes without any real progression. And in the example project, we're just keeping it short and tight here with a 13-second long introduction. And it's very typical in music today that the intros are quite short. And of course I do recommend to experiment. Maybe your specific song requires a longer intro. Right, so that's my 5 best tips to create a great song introduction. Did I forget anything? Please let me know in the comments. If you follow these tips, you should be able to create an unforgettable song introduction that sets the pace for the rest of your music and leaves a long-lasting impression on your listeners. My name is Mataz. If you want to learn more, check out my courses. There's links in the description. See you in the next video. Bye!